Hi everyone, and welcome to the Soul Illumination reading for the sign of Leo. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. Now that's exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's reading. We're going to be looking at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time. We'll dive a little deeper into that area of focus. We'll identify a block or a challenge. Then we'll look at advice from Spirit as to how to overcome that. And then we're going to look at a level of abundance or spiritual growth that wants to come in that area of focus. Okay. Now, right when I was getting into your energy, Leo, it was kind of funny. I saw a lion roaring, which makes sense, right? That's the Leo energy. But then it ended with kind of a yawn, and I saw the lion kind of rolling over and almost like going to sleep. So for some of you, there might be a sense right now of maybe just wanting to rest, maybe feeling like you're kind of all roared out, so to speak. And it may be just a time you guys might just be enjoying yourself right now. So we'll see what wants to come out. Now, the card that's coming out to represent you, Leo, is the Lovers. That's what the energy you're sitting with currently, which is wonderful. It's beautiful energy. It's sitting in a place where you are choosing what you love, you're leading from the heart, which makes sense for you, Leo, because you rule that heart chakra. There's that sense of that kind of lion-hearted courage. But there's also a feeling too with the Lovers of being surrounded by what you love as well. Oh, and I love this external energy. So this is what your soul is highlighting for you right now, is the Ace of Cups. So when we think of the Ace of Cups, it really represents a fresh connection to love and a fresh emotional connection to yourself, to the soul, truly. It's almost like having a spiritual rebirth on a certain level. And when we think about this being highlighted for you, the Ace of Cups and the Lovers, these two things go hand in hand. There can be a sense of a reconnection possibly to someone that you're already with. It's almost like kind of getting to that second honeymoon phase. It could be for some of you are just getting into a brand new relationship, and there's a lot of possibility here for growth. It can also be that you are getting into the energy of literally choosing what you love and choosing to incorporate that more in your life. And in doing so, you are reconnecting to what emotionally connects you to life. That sense of joy, that sense of, when we think of emotional connection, this is where we feel like we are truly engaged in every moment with our life experience. And there's a sense of kind of almost like a reawakening of the self through that. Now we have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. This is your underlying energy, which is underscored by the 9 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. Now, the King of Cups is a beautiful energy to be sitting with. This is the energy of someone who is emotionally mature. It is someone who really leads from what they're feeling, but does not let their emotions run the show. They instead process and accept their emotional state, and then they choose to incorporate that in where they choose to take action. Now, the King of Cups can also represent the loving father. There's that paternal energy that comes in there. It's also the energy of Scorpio as well. So there's that sense of really, again, kind of using scorpionic energy to dive deep into your emotional state. And I think that's where many of you are really connecting to that energy of love, because you're willing to go that deep, or you're stepping into the role of possibly a loving, emotionally mature parent. And there can be something very rewarding in that, especially with maybe a new connection to the self. A lot of times we can discover new aspects of ourself when we are around children, or when we're taking care of someone else and we're loving them. It's a hard concept. I think it was Viktor E. Frankl who spoke about the benefit to us when we love someone. There's a sense of, again, opening up ourselves to the beauty of seeing the best in someone else. And I kind of get that feeling here for you, Leo. Now, with underneath this, we have the 9 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. So there's a sense here for some of you where there might have been a time up to now. It might not be occurring currently, but it could have been before, where there's a little bit of anxiety, a little bit possibly of a chaos in your life. The 5 of Wands can be where there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many things happening. It can also be a card too of kind of getting back out there. It can also be a sign of healthy competition. And for some of you, I think maybe there was a time in the recent past where you were either being caused a lot of anxiety and worry over either a very stressful circumstance or time where there's a lot of things going on. It might have been like, again, too many people talking in your ear, too many people even in your house, too many people at work wanting you to do a bunch of stuff. But it could have also been too, or maybe for some of you, you were getting out there and kind of putting yourself out there, meaning you might have gone into the maybe dating pool and you were kind of getting back out there and it was stressful. You're like, oh my gosh, am I going to meet somebody? What's going to happen? It can be maybe where you went to a new work environment and it was, a little crazy. Maybe there was, having to wrap up old projects as you move into a new position. And it was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This is crazy. I'm super stressed out. But there seems to be whatever was going on in that time frame for you, it seems like you've come out a much more, it's almost like I'm seeing here like craziness and chaos and lots of stuff going on and too many people kind of, this can be like where you have a large family and there's everybody who's coming in there wanting to say something, and yet you're kind of like the eye of the storm. You're sitting in this place where maybe in the past it used to emotionally rattle you, or you would be the one maybe even to kind of maybe lose your emotional control, and yet here there's something that's changed in your experience, and suddenly you're the one sitting kind of in the eye of the storm, emotionally calm, emotionally collected, and able to, no matter what's going on, share your love with others. And possibly there could be a sense of almost like reconnecting to self-love. And that can really allow us to be that calm center in the middle of any experience. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some clarifiers here. So we're going to dive a little deeper into a block or a challenge around this Ace of Cups energy. We're going to look at advice from Spirit as to how to overcome that. And then we're going to look at what wants to come in for you, Leo. Okay, so right off the bat, we have 2 of Cups and 7 of Cups. So for many of you, the challenge up to this point, there's almost like there was a challenge of committing to what you love. Because with the 2 of Cups and the 7 of Cups, there was this illusion that there possibly might be something better out there. So the 2 of Cups is that intimate one-on-one connection. It could be, again, in a romantic partnership, but this could also be in friendship. And this could be also in a work environment where you are intimately connecting with another person. But there's a sense here with the 7 of Cups coming in right after that the 7 of Cups is the card that there are so many options out there for emotional fulfillment, and it becomes difficult for us to choose. And you can see it's almost like this individual is being tortured by, well, what if this person is better? Or what if this work environment is better? Or what if this friend group is better? There can be that sense here of almost blocking yourself off from this beautiful energy of the universe, of the divine handing you this cup that is overflowing with love. That you are blocking yourself. It's almost like pushing that away with both hands to a certain extent because of almost like a wandering eye. I'm getting the feeling of the grass is greener. And that can be a difficult energy to have when either A, you're comparing yourself to others, looking at what, instead of looking at what you have right in front of you and saying, wow, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for the love I'm receiving and the love I can give. And I'm grateful for the people in my life. There could be a sense of looking across the street and saying, yeah, but they have something I don't. So instead of enjoying the moment and really leaning into what I love and committing to that, I'm going to continue to kind of have that, almost that eye to the future of, well, when I have this or when I have more, or leaning into the what if there's something better. This would be like saying constantly jumping from, let's say, one relationship to another, because again, there could be someone better out there. Or instead of like intimately connecting and really digging deep into the work environment that you're in, you kind of have that one foot out the door. You don't want to actually get to know your coworkers or your boss because you might be leaving soon. It could be that energy as well. Okay, guys, so here we have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Wow, very positive energy here. So this is your secondary underlying energy. Ace of Cups, again, it's saying love is all around you, Leo, truly. Now, the Tower is at the heart of your reading. This is actually the advice from Spirit, which may seem, for those of you who know the tarot, that this can be a very difficult card. The Tower usually comes on the heels of a major change in our life, which can be disruptive, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be disruptive so that it allows us to be freed from a tower that is basically holding us hostage from growth, from abundance, from love that wants to come in for us. And what that can look like is you suddenly, this could be like somebody out of the blue letting you go at work, and you realize, oh my gosh, it was because I never connected. It's something like that, where it shakes you up and you realize, I really appreciated that work environment. And you know what? I had gotten stagnant there, and I was a negative Nancy, and I wasn't connecting with everybody. And you know what? The next place I go to, I'm going to change. I'm going to be the one that does go to the work parties. I am going to be the one that gets to know my boss better, or lets them get to know me. There can be that sense here. But there's a true liberation quality about the Tower. This is saying whatever is going on in your life, whether it's internal or whether it's external, the Tower coming down, it is meant to free you. What used to once be safety and security, which is what the Tower represents to a certain extent, now becomes something that holds devil energy, which is the energy of holding you back. It's not safe and secure. It's instead imprisoning you. So there's a beautiful energy of saying, accept whatever happened in your life that shook up your experience, that may have seemed a little again, crazy and chaotic, with the Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Again, that's a lot of anxiety and worry. And there's a sense here of saying, let the Tower fall, because what's coming in for you is love. What's coming in for you is a reconnection to the self. And right on the other side of the Tower is the Fool. It's like, out you pop. And the Fool is the start of a fresh cycle. It is the number 0 in the tarot. So it is truly that fresh start. It's a reset of going through the major arcana. And it's where you get the chance to literally lighten your load. The Fool does not take all the baggage from the past. He doesn't go back to the rubble of the Tower and put brick by brick back in a bag to take with him into the next, the leap off into the next cycle. No, he leaves the Tower as it is, and he goes to the edge of that cliff, and with full faith, he says, I see what's been hidden from me, and I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to take that jump. Now, the Five of Pentacles is your final card here. So this is something that for many of you, I think there may have been how can I say this? There might have been the energy of lack, or the feeling of being left out in the cold, that is something that is associated with a past version of yourself. That, there's a sense of, if I take a risk, if I commit to this person wholeheartedly, if I commit to this career path or this job or this workplace wholeheartedly, if I commit to my family, if I commit to this friend group, there's a sense that at some point those people will leave you, or at some point you won't have enough, that in committing to them, this could be like a fear, for instance, of maybe in a past relationship where you moved in with someone and you mixed finances, and then you broke up and you were the one who lost, the home or lost the money or whatever. And so there's that sense of, well, then I'm never going to commit like that again, because I'm never going to combine resources. I'm never going to move in with someone, that kind of thing, because there's that fear, that deep-rooted fear of, because I might lose again, because they might leave me. And it can be the same thing around a work environment, where instead of just fully committing to a work environment, there's that sense of, why fully commit when I know they're not going to fully, no work environments ever going to really pay me enough or give me enough. That can be the Five of Pentacles too, that they're going to rob me of my time. They're going to rob me of my, not compensating me fairly, or they're going to eventually turn their back on me and, fire me, something like that. So there's a sense here really saying, Leo, for many of you, the worst is over. The worst is over, and all that's surrounding you is love and support. And you have the ability, I think for many of you with the King of Cups energy here, there's that sense coming through very strongly of, after having gone through all of this, it has taught you how to connect to your emotional state, where maybe you had been going through a period of time where you had not been connecting emotionally to your life experience. And now here's the universe with the Ace of Cups here, handing you your cup so that you can ascend to this throne to be someone who actually is able to lead from the love you have to give to others and the emotional fulfillment and joy you have in choosing to follow your heart. Very beautiful energy, Leo. Okay, so for some of you, you might have been going through a very lonely time as well. Just kind of, I get that feeling. Or maybe you had kind of, cut yourself off a little bit from the world or from intimate connections. And there's a chance here that's very much saying that, yeah, you probably had to go through a level of recovery. But now there's a chance for a fresh start. And that fresh start is going to have a very soft landing with the love that's coming in here, with this double Ace of Cups energy. And so, yes, we have the Three of Cups here, clarifying the Two of Cups. So there's a sense of celebration. There's a sense of joining the party. There's a sense of community even. And for many of you, you might have been kind of holding yourself back from that. But then we have Judgment. Ooh. So Judgment is when something, again, integral in our life has changed for us, where we have gone through something that on a fundamental level changes who we are and our experience of our life. So this can be like getting married for the first time. This could be having children for the first time. This could be where you are no longer a college student and you're now graduated and going into the real world. There's all kinds of ways we can go through kind of that Judgment energy. I think for some of you as well, with Judgment and the Three of Cups, there could be a sense for some of you where there was a change in who you were surrounding yourself with. It's almost like for some of you there was a judgment call made either from the divine or yourself, where you had to either cut out a friend group or a community, or you might have had to have traveled or something like that. But there's a sense here of there was a judgment call made around people you were celebrating with, people who, again, could have been your tribe or your community. And I'm just waiting to kind of hear the message come through. What is this Judgment for Leo? It's interesting because I'm hearing almost like you felt like you've never had that community. You never felt like you've had those people who have stuck with you through thick and thin. So there could definitely be a sense here for many of you where there's a chance now to really connect on that level, and embrace those that want to come in for you now, that are kind of being offered here from the divine. And there's a beautiful chance because you have changed. I think that's really what's coming through here with Judgment. You are a different person. And so there may be a whole community of people, friendships, work environments that are ready to connect with who you are in the present moment as you stand today. Very interesting. So with the Seven of Cups, there's the Fool again. So there's a sense of kind of jumping into that more abundant, positive feeling that comes from the Seven of Cups, instead of kind of the dark and negative, the shadow side of the Seven of Cups, which is there's so many choices. How do I ever commit to one? There's a sense of the positive energy of that card, which is the whole world's my oyster. I might have met 10 terrible people who I couldn't be friends with in the past, or I worked for, a crappy work environment in the past, but now, oh my gosh, there's 8 billion people in the world. Like, I'm going to take a risk and leap into that. Here's the Four of Cups. Makes sense. So the Three of Cups represents community, celebrations, kind of joining the party. The Four of Cups is when you're sitting outside of that, when you feel almost like an outsider in your own life. You're looking at everybody else getting together. And this can also be just a general, dissatisfaction with your life experience. And I think for many of you, that dissatisfaction came because of that lack of support that you felt, or you didn't feel like you had that close community that kind of was with you all the way. And now there's almost that sense of taking a leap out there again to say, there are others who are looking, to bring love your way just as much as you are. And I think getting into that abundant energy is what's going to help you really share the love that you have, and possibly commit to who's in your life, to what's in your life. There may be a whole change in perspective. Okay, so the Tower is clarifying the Tower. Yes, so this definitely, Leo, for you guys. This is let the walls come down. Walk away from that past version of yourself. Walk away. It's almost like I'm hearing you don't need boundaries anymore around your heart. There's just a lot of love and support that wants to come in. And it's beautiful. Okay, and then we have the King of Swords. So that's Aquarian energy. If you have an Aquarius in your life, there could be a sense of maybe a reconnection with that person, almost like allowing the walls to come down between you and that individual. This could also be for you letting the walls come down and standing firm in your own knowledge. The King of Swords is someone who knows what he knows. He has a very he's able to really use a clear mind to make clear decisions. He holds his sword of truth. He's very clear in his own truth. But there's a sense for many of you, I think, as the walls come down, of realizing, just how much you've learned. There's a sense of turning knowledge into wisdom here. And really allowing this version of yourself to lead, meaning leading from what you know, leading from the experiences you've had and what you've gained in the world of, or gained wisdom-wise about the world. That sense of, this is what I know, and this is what's going to give me the courage to take the leap into something new. For some of you, this could even be where, part of this is like, I'm ready to teach now. I'm ready to be a mentor to somebody. I'm ready to stand in the knowledge that I have and be able to impart that to others as well. And that can obviously be a very scary thing, a very vulnerable thing for many of us to do. But for some of you, there could be literally an Aquarius in your life where there is a wall coming down between you and this person, or someone who really embodies this strong air energy. That could be an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini, and allowing that wall to come down between you and an individual who is very analytical, is very clear-headed, can really give a fair and balanced assessment or opinion in your life. And again, the person could just have a strong Aquarian placement. They don't have to be an actual Aquarius. And this could even be somebody who's advising you. That could be what's actually bringing the wall down. This could be somebody with the King of Swords who's, kind of putting, with Judgment here and the King of Swords. This could even be for some of you going through legal matters. There might have been for some of you a legal matter that took place that brought the walls down. This could be where you were settling a divorce. You were waiting for something to come through at work. That could definitely be represented here for a very few of you. There could have been something as well, maybe like traveling, waiting for a visa to come through, something like that. But the King of Swords is also someone who is very fair and will tell the truth. So it could also have been somebody standing very firm in their truth and, stating something that brought the walls down. Okay, so let's see here with the Fool. We have the Four of Coins and the Knight of Coins. So Four of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, this is definitely shifting your energy from Four of Pentacles is where we are holding ourselves back, where we are not looking to invest our time, energy, or money into something. And again, that can be out of fear that if I do take that risk, I will lose, or I will be the one who ends up, kind of out in the cold. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is the total opposite of that. This is taking what you have, taking that pentacle and really realizing I'm going to make that long-term plan for myself. I'm going to start taking one step at a time. He's a very slow-moving knight because he's methodical. It brings in the energy of Virgo. And there's that sense of taking a leap, but you're taking a measured leap. You're taking a leap towards a plan. And again, it sometimes only takes that first step and then the next step and then the next step. And that breaks you out of this cycle of kind of stagnancy with the Four of Coins, or that sense of I'm holding back. And it's saying it's time now to kind of get out there and start to just step by step take the universe up on this new offer. The Knight of Pentacles here really does speak, especially in conjunction with the Fool, that there is an Ace of Pentacles. There has been a fresh start. This could be even a little bit of seed money. I mean, for some of you, this could actually be, if there was like a legal matter, you might have gotten a little bit of money. There might have been actually a chance maybe to elevate in your career path. You could have gotten a bonus or something like that. And now it's saying, okay, well, what do you want to do with this? How are you going to take this and maybe reinvest it in your family? Maybe now it's time to actually combine those resources and commit to moving in together. Or maybe you got a little bit of money and you're realizing, oh my gosh, like I really want to take a sabbatical. I'm going to take a leap into just rediscovering myself. It could be something like that even. And that's where you get to have this kind of rebirth, this fresh start. Okay, let's see with the Five of Pentacles. What does Leo need to know about the Five of Pentacles? Yeah, there it is. Ace of Swords, clarity. This is the aha. There's almost a sense of the truth. The King of Swords holds the Ace of Swords, and there's this realization of I think for many of you, almost like realizing your true potential. I think there's been a state, yeah, there it is, Eight of Wands. That's fast movement. That's a lot of communication, a lot of opportunities coming in. And I think for many of you, there's a realization of where you have not been kind of going with the flow, not going with all the things that are coming your way, because there was a sense of this Five of Pentacle energy holding you back. And there's like a truth coming through here where it's like something broke down those walls and you saw where that Five of Pentacles energy was coming from. It's like the realization for some of you, you could have, again, with the Judgment coming in here, there could have been something like you leveled up in your career and then suddenly you're realizing, oh my gosh, I was so afraid for so long to accept that responsibility because I thought I was going to be left out in the cold. I thought, people were going to, not listen to me, or that I was going to be a bad mentor or something like that. This could also be the realization where, the why you haven't committed wholeheartedly to someone else. And it was because you were afraid that they were going to leave you or that you were going to lose in some capacity if you did that. And then that's where all of a sudden the Eight of Wands comes in, where it's like the realization of, oh my gosh, this is what's been holding me back. And suddenly with the Eight of Wands, it's like the energetic portal has opened. And it's like, okay, I'm going to release the sense that I don't have enough, or that I'm always on the outside looking in, or that I don't have support. I'm going to release the sense that others take advantage of me, or that if I commit to someone, I'm going to be the one that loses, or that I just simply will always be the one that doesn't have enough. And it's like once you identify where that idea or that mentality comes from, suddenly here comes it's almost like your life just kind of opens up and it's like, okay, here you go. And so we have the third underlying energy here is the Hanged Man. Now the Hanged Man speaks to a change in perspective. And I think many of you, that change in perspective is realizing how much you have in your life to be grateful for. It's the realization of how much maybe you guys had been holding yourself back from going out into the world. There might have even been opportunities that were waiting, people, work opportunities, even friendships waiting for you. And there might have been that sense of kind of holding yourself back from all of those things. And suddenly now there's the truth and the realization. And that is the change in your perspective. And you're realizing how much love and abundance and support you have. And there's that fresh emotional connection again. It's almost like you're ready to join the party and see the community that's waiting for you, or to see the love and support from your family, or to see the love and support that's coming from an intimate romantic partnership. Beautiful, beautiful energy, Leo. Okay, let's go ahead here and see. We're going to pull a final card and see what we're going to leave you with today. I'm just looking at the cards on the table now. The King of Cups, which is again your first underlying energy over here, that can also be someone who would make for a good spiritual advisor. So for some of you, there might have been something in the past where you went into maybe the healing arts, or into some type of, could have even been like a life coach or something like that, or getting into the world of tarot like this. And there might have been that fear of, oh my gosh, having to go out into a competitive market or to test your skill set in that area. And there might have been a lot of anxiety. This could be like where you're like, I'm going to leave my 9-to-5 and I'm going to join, this life. I'm going to create my own life coaching company or something like that. And there might have been a sense of it. There's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, but now you are standing firmly in what you know, that in doing so, it helped open up, again, a connection to your intuition, a connection to your emotional connection to your life. And you realize like, oh my gosh, I'm glad I took that risk. I'm glad I leapt into that opportunity, because I would never have discovered this about myself. Okay, now it's me saying that, here we have past life activation, number 35, breaking down to the number 8 in numerology, which is the number of physical abundance. It's also the number of personal empowerment and empowered leadership. So let's see here. Now we do have, which is interesting because I do feel like some of you might be actually elevating in position, again, to be a mentor or to stand in some type of either teaching capacity or a capacity where you're sharing your wisdom with others. And that could be part of this past life activation, where there's a sense of kind of drawing on past knowledge. It doesn't have to be past life if you don't believe in that, but it could be something that, like, let's say, in another version of yourself when you were much younger, you might have had a talent or skill set, something like that, and it's kind of being brought back up to the forefront for you to really experience now, which will actually draw in a level of abundance for yourself. Okay, so we had number 35, past life activation. It says you have talents within that have been developed through many varied life experiences. You have had many lifetimes already, even if you don't recall them consciously, helping you evolve and grow into the loving being that you are today. Your desire to grow in consciousness and spiritual power, to assist the divine plan unfolding throughout the universe, is heard and supported by the spiritual worlds in all ways. To this end, past life material is being activated now for your benefit and the greater good. Your soul has a history of lifetimes through which it has learned to be wise and developed certain talents. You have learned lessons and acquired skills and abilities. Sometimes these were mastered through very challenging circumstances. You might feel you are obtaining mastery in certain areas again this lifetime, again through challenging circumstances. The soul can certainly develop through joy, love, and happiness, but often it is through an experience of conquering a challenge that the real gems are won for the crown of the soul. The oracle of past life activation comes to you in a power you developed in a past life that would be useful for you to access in your current lifetime. Comes about. I never like that. That sentence never makes sense. It says, perhaps this talent or ability will become the seed of a spiritual vocation for you, a skill that expands your career or brings you personal joy. The ability that surfaces from the depths of your soul will be whatever is of greatest benefit to you now. Sometimes, while a treasure is emerging from the depths of your being into consciousness, it'll be coated in the pain of the past. Yeah, that's the Five of Pentacles. It says you might notice the outer coating first, the pain of abandonment, rejection, ridicule, or shaming that perhaps resulted in the suppression or denial of that soul gift in your past life. This may be the reason you have not incarnated with it fully awakened and at your immediate disposal. You have to allow it to rise up to you, and you need to dig a little to crack open the coating of a wound and free the treasure that temporarily became trapped in that pain. When you release the pain, you free the treasure once locked within it. Perhaps your gift was challenging to a community in a past life, whereas now it would be more readily accepted because that community has matured spiritually over time. Or perhaps you have matured and now will value your gift and be open to divine guidance to show you how to use it for the greatest good this lifetime. The gift you are reviving is worthwhile. As you cleanse the memories, beliefs, or programs that once caused you to subconsciously protect yourself by hiding your talent, you will grow strong enough to process the pain and stand in the truth of your reclaimed gifts. And that's the Ace of Swords, held by the King of Swords. If you have been considering a new line of work, feeling you'd like to explore or express different talents, or have the urge to develop an interest and transform it into a vocation, you are very likely already feeling the stirrings of that past life activation now taking place for you. Trust the changes you feel. A part of your divine inheritance is being restored to you. Love that for you guys. I hope you are all trusting this fresh connection to self, again, through taking a risk and committing to either what you love, who you love, or just love in general, following your heart, and allowing that sense of whatever felt limiting, or the fear around loss, or the fear of being left out and not supported. If you can release that, the portal is here ready to kind of slingshot you to success and into great love. All right, I will leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, Leo. If you'd like to book a personal reading where you can take a look at what your soul would most like to illuminate for you at this time to help provide clarity and advice in an area where perhaps it is a little unclear, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will see all of you in your next Soul Illumination reading. Bye, Leo.